So we met a couple summers ago out in Montauk.
I was at my friend Emily's bachelorette party.
And I was out there in my share house. And we were at this restaurant called Cyril's.
We were just minding our own business, having a lovely bachelorette dinner.
I actually just kind of went up to their table cold and just started talking to this whole group at a bachelorette party. So then we talked for a little bit and my group ends up leaving. So they came to get me, at which point to the bachelorette, I said, let's all meet up later. Who's my best contact here? She pointed to her maid of honor, Jillian. So I got Jillian's number. The plan was, at least, for us to meet up later on. As the night progresses, I'm updating Jill on where we are and where we're headed next. So like 2 a.m. rolls around, and I have this sobering realization that I've sent about 6 texts in a row, and I've gotten no response. So I then send some self-deprecating text like, I guess we're breaking up. We've been through so much.
Which I then found when I picked up my cell phone from the taxi company the next day because I'd left my phone in a surf taxi in Montauk. So I went and picked it up and I thought, hey, this guy's pretty funny.
Well, A, I thought I wouldn't hear from her again. B, the group had said they were from DC, so to my surprise, I found out that she lived 2 blocks away from me here in the city. If Jill hadn't been persistent enough, or if Surf Taxi hadn't been helpful, we might never have met again. This idea was initially spawned because we had done Accomplice about 8 months ago and just had a blast with it. An Accomplice is basically an interactive scavenger hunt of sorts. It's shrouded in mystery, and there are actors involved in it along the way. We had so much fun doing it, and it's so different from any other experience. So we really enjoyed that. So I think that's where the idea kind of spawned from.
So Scott had told me that we needed to meet his biggest client at 3 p.m. at the Standard for drinks. So that day when I arrived, no one was in the bar. So I'm like, I'm here on time and no one's here. So I texted Scott, got no response, but as I'm looking at my phone, someone rushes up to me and says, "Are you Jill?" I said, "Yes." Hands me a note. It says, as I'm reading the note, this woman is also talking to me a mile a minute, and I'm trying to take in what she's saying, and I'm also reading the note, and basically the gist that I get is, drinks are off, Scott lost his phone, everyone left, but you could probably go find him at Extra Place, which is an alley just a couple blocks away, because that's where he had been looking for a pair of sneakers, supposedly for me. So I walk up to the alley, and I see a homeless man eating chicken wings, and I see a man with a duffel bag looking extremely sketchy. And I asked him if he had seen a guy he supposedly was here and lost his phone. And eventually we agreed that yes, he had seen Scott, and he pulled out a map from his pocket and said he asked me to give you this because he was leaving to get an ugly sweater. I'm contemplating whether or not I should just go back to the office because, I've gone to one place and he's not there, and I have a lot of work to do, and why am I going on this wild goose chase? But I just decided I'd go to this next spot, and as I'm walking, Scott, I'm pretty sure, knows that I am terrible with maps. So what should have been probably a really easy thing to find took me a little extra time to find, and when I went in, I asked her if she had seen a guy describing Scott. Finally, she admitted that yes, someone that met Scott's description had been in there a little while ago, had actually recently left, and run into someone on the street that he knew.
So the woman from the ugly sweater store, she points Jill down the street.
Lafayette, yeah.
Right down Lafayette. There's this restaurant in the middle of it called Pinche Taqueria. And we have Jill's friend Emily stationed right in the window with Amanda from Accomplice as her vendor. And this is a vendor meeting that they have because Emily doesn't work too far away. So as Jill's walking by, we have Emily on the lookout for her, and Emily knocks on the window and engages Jill and comes outside and says,
"Jill, what are you doing here? This is so weird. I just ran into Scott." And I'm completely disoriented. Why is Emily here? So we start talking. She's like, "I'm actually, with a furniture vendor inside because she buys furniture." And I look in, and sure enough, there's a stone-faced woman not looking too happy that Emily has left the table to talk to me. She's like, yeah, we're just getting cocktails. But she's like, Scott was just here. We just talked, and he was going to the Apple store to activate Find My iPhone. She was like, yeah, that's where he went. I feel like I'm on a scavenger hunt to find Scott. And I walked to the Apple store, and I'm thinking, like, could this be an engagement? But, like, it's 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. This isn't it. And I walk into the Apple store, and it's so crowded. A woman bumped into me and asked to borrow a pen. And I look up, and as I'm handing her the pen, I see that she's wearing a Metcalf Ranch t-shirt, which is where Scott and I had gone on vacation this past summer. She said, some guy just lost a $20 bill, and I have this envelope. I'm going to leave it for him. But, it's fine. I don't even know his name, but he was wearing this white shirt. And I was like, oh, my boyfriend was wearing a white shirt. Maybe this is the same person. And she said, well, it's funny because I was checking the camera on the iPhone 6 when we bumped into each other because he had recognized my shirt. So we actually have it on video if you want to come watch it. So she took me over to the iPhone counter. So at this point, when I am brought over to watch the video, as soon as Scott came on screen, the jig was up. I knew what was happening. So I just sort of put my chin in my hands and enjoyed his acting for the next minute or so.
Is that a Metcalf Ranch shirt?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You've been there?
Yeah, I was there last summer.
That's so funny.
One of the best trips of my life.
Yeah, I really loved it. I don't think I've ever met anyone who actually went there.
Me neither.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, other than my boy Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, yeah, okay. I haven't actually met him, fortunately. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made t-shirts.
I know. Yeah, I think they just started making them.
Gotcha.
Not that long ago.
Gotcha. Huh.
Wow. Do you have one of these, by the way? I can't figure out if we should get it or not. It's like kind of big. It's the iPhone 6.
It's an iPhone 6?
Normal one?
Gotcha. I have an iPhone 5, or had an iPhone 5. Lost it today. Been running around the city trying to find it. I've actually had a really weird day. Came here to see if they could activate Find My iPhone.
Yeah.
No luck. And I'm kind of all out of options. I actually did find this fortune teller card in the sweater. I was looking for an ugly sweater party that's coming up.
All right.
I've never done anything like this in my life, but I may go give it a try.
Is that near here? Do they have
It's
fortune
at
tellers here?
124 McDougal. Do you know where that is by any chance?
McDougal is that. I don't know
Yeah.
where.
You don't know the
124
cross?
Is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you can look it up.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I guess.
Figure what the hell.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
At this point.
All right, well,
All right. Good luck.
good luck picking out a phone.
Oh, thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, bye.
Off Jill heads to 124 McDougal Street, and instead of a fortune teller being there, instead of a real fortune teller, it's Quinn, who's one of the actresses, who's awesome.
And having just run into Emily, knowing that there was a fortune teller, it all made sense because when we were in high school, our favorite thing to do, Friday and Saturday nights, we would go to our fortune teller in Georgetown and get our fortunes read. And Quinn was hilarious. When we walked in, she had this thick accent, and she was looking into her crystal ball. She saw a lost phone. I was like, yes, my boyfriend lost a phone.
So it turns out I'm on the roof of my old building where Jill and I actually had our first date. I moved like a week later, so we'd really only been up there once.
So Quinn said, oh, do you know palm reading? And I said, yes, I love palm reading. And she said, well, I do things a little differently. I'm actually a palm writer, and I look into my crystal ball, and whatever I see, I'll write on your hand. She wrote 264
Or 284 Mott.
284 Mott, Buzz 1L, Penthouse. She was sensing the phone that we were talking about that was lost today was coming near. She could feel it. It was moving and it was coming near, and to come outside with her right away. And as I came outside, I see a pedicab coming up.
So when Jill was 15 and she and Emily would go to a fortune teller, Jill had a little obsession with Rob Lowe. And at one point she asked the fortune teller if she would marry Rob Lowe. And the fortune teller broke character and said, honey, Rob Lowe is gay.
She is about to put me in the pedicab when the fortune teller grabs my arm and says, one last thing, it's very important. Rob Lowe is gay. And puts me in the pedicab, and I'm hysterically laughing. And on the seat of the pedicab is Scott's phone. And there's a note on it that says, "I guess we're not breaking up."
So we had the wallpaper changed to say, of the phone to say, "I guess we're not breaking up." Just because that first night I had sent her that "I guess we're breaking up"
That
text.
self-deprecating text that got me to write back. So we arrived at the Mott Street apartment, and as I get out, I know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm thinking, I should definitely offer to pay this guy. I don't know if it's taken care of. So I said, what do I owe you? He reaches into his pocket and he said, "Well, you don't owe me anything now, but if you're ever out in Montauk, just give me a call." They had made surf taxi business cards, the same as the real surf taxi. And I buzzed and I went up to the roof.
So I'm waiting out there on this chilly roof, and Jill comes out of the door, and I proposed.
Scott opens the ring box. It's beautiful. And as he's putting it on my finger, it's definitely stuck on the second knuckle.
So it was freezing outside, so something, because it was cold, there might have been something, but I know the size was right, and this ring was getting on. This ring was getting on one way or another.
I don't think it's gonna fit. And Scott goes, "Oh no, it'll fit," and just started jamming. And sure enough, it went on, and it was the right size. But yeah, I just thought it was so sweet because I definitely remembered the roof from our first date, looking, it was a beautiful night and there were great views. So to just have it go full circle back to basically that moment, it was very sweet.
And then we headed to the bar 1534,
Which is
where we had been on our first date, and met up with the whole cast there. And just kind of talked about everything. It was so funny to hear things from their perspective. It was awesome. Emily was there as well.
And it was just so cool to arrive at, where we had our first date and have all these people be so excited for us, and to have known that they were all part of something that Scott had been planning for more than 2 months. I just don't know anyone else who's done that, and it was just very cool to have that celebratory moment with all these people who had made it possible.